Before pyramids mastered stone and ziggurats touched the sky, brick by brick, a quiet genius rose along shifting rivers. Streets ran straight as a compass line, drains murmured beneath the feet, and seals whispered in a language we still cannot read. Today at Curious Minds, we're diving deep, going back 4 millennia. We're heading into the heart of one of history's most fascinating and honestly most mysterious urban cultures, the Indus Valley Civilization. Imagine a society that built these incredible cities, meticulous planning, amazing water systems, global trade.
Yeah, all without the giant pyramids or, the big imperial stories we usually get from antiquity.
Exactly. So we'll be walking the avenues of places like Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, and the amazing Dolavira, asking, how much did these silent cities kind of anticipate our modern world?
Well, what's really astonishing right off the bat is just the sheer scale, the reach of this civilization.
It wasn't just one city, was it?
Not at all. Unlike, say, Mesopotamia or Egypt, which often focused on a central city or region, the Indus was sprawling, huge. It was the largest urban culture of its time, easily.
How large are we talking?
We're talking over 1.2, almost 1.3 million square kilometers across modern Pakistan, northwest India, even parts of Afghanistan.
Wow.
And get this, we've mapped more than 1,500 sites. 1,500. From way up north in Afghanistan down to coastal sites in Gujarat.
So like a whole network.
Precisely. A web of urban hubs, linked by rivers, by ancient roads. It's really dynamic, and it unfolds in stages, Starts early Harappan, around 3,300 BCE.
Right.
Then hits its peak, the mature Harappan phase.
Yeah.
It's roughly 2,600 to 1,900 BCE. That's when the big cities really flourished.
And then
Then a gradual decline, the late Harappan period, down to about 1,300 BCE.
it's just amazing to think this whole world was basically lost to us for so long.
Yeah, centuries hidden, sometimes literally built over.
So the big rediscovery was, what, the 1920s? Mohenjo-Daro, Harappa.
That's right, the official excavations. People like Professor Vass, Professor Banerjee, pioneers.
But you hear stories that local people knew about these places much earlier.
Oh, absolutely. Take Dolavira. There was a local resident, Shamhudan Gadvi, trying to get people interested back in the 1960s, long before the major work started.
And Harappa, because it was excavated first, it gave its name to the whole thing, right? The Harappan civilization.
Exactly. And it wasn't just finding a couple of cool sites. It was like unveiling an entire civilization of cities. Changed everything.
Okay, so let's talk about these cities. Because it wasn't just the size, it was how they were built that's so impressive.
Oh, definitely. The urban planning is, well, it's stunningly sophisticated.
Like the streets. I read they were laid out in a grid.
Straight as an arrow, intersecting at perfect right angles.
Yeah.
A grid pattern that honestly wouldn't look out of place today.
That's wild. And the bricks? Wasn't there something about the bricks?
Yes, this is incredible. Across this vast area, hundreds, thousands of kilometers, every single Harappan site used bricks with the exact same ratio, 1 to 2 to 4.
No way. Huh.
That level of standardization, it screams, powerful administration or at least incredibly strong shared norms.
Well, for me, the coolest thing is the drains. Underground drains. In the Bronze Age.
Right. Elaborate systems for waste management.
Yeah.
And they even had, get this, inspection hatches, manholes.
Seriously, for cleaning.
For cleaning and maintenance. Shows real planning. And many houses didn't just connect to the street drains.
They had their own.
Their own private baths. Wells, sometimes even basic toilets,
Yeah.
all plumbed in.
That focus on health, on cleanliness, it just seems so advanced compared to other places at the time.
It was totally unparalleled. You compare it to Sumerian cities where waste often just piled up.
Yeah.
The Indus commitment to water management, sanitation, it's a huge indicator of just how organized they were.
And Dolavira. You mentioned Dolavira. The place sounds special.
Oh, Dolavira is a masterpiece of hydraulic engineering. It had what might be the earliest really monumental water conservation system anywhere. Imagine at least 16 huge reservoirs built of stone, designed to capture rainwater or river water.
16. Wow.
And there's a massive stepwell they found relatively recently, 2014, I think. It's huge, over 70 meters long, nearly 30 wide, 10 deep.
That's enormous. Bigger than the Great Bath.
3 times bigger than Mohenjo-Daro's Great Bath.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Great Bath, what was that all about? Rituals?
Likely, yes. A large public tank in the Citadel area, meticulously built burnt bricks, watertight with gypsum and bitumen. Probably used for ritual bathing.
Yeah.
Suggests this kind of civic ritual identity where, public health and maybe spiritual purity went hand in hand.
All this planning, the standardization, it really points to some kind of coordinated governance, doesn't it? Even if we don't see, like, a pharaoh's palace.
Exactly. Even without the obvious king figure.
So, okay, with this amazing infrastructure, what was life actually like day to day? How did they feed everyone in these big cities?
Well, they were incredibly self-sufficient, really accomplished farmers. They grew staples like wheat, barley, pulses, dates. And they were among the first, maybe the first, to grow and use cotton for textiles.
Cotton, really? Wow.
Yeah, and we find evidence like plowed fields at Calibangan. So sophisticated agriculture.
And not just farming, right? They made things.
Oh, their craftsmanship was top-notch. Bronze casting. You've probably seen the Dancing Girl from Mohenjo-Daro.
The small statue. Yeah, it's amazing. So much movement.
Exactly. Just 10 centimeters tall. That's so dynamic. And they were master bead makers. Carnelian, lapis lazuli, steatite. Beautiful pottery, too. Work shell, ivory.
What about that priest king statue? The one with the beard.
Ah, yes, the steatite bust. Incredible detail, right? The trimmed beard, the hair, that patterned shawl. These aren't huge monuments like in Egypt. They're intimate masterpieces. They give you these little windows into their world.
And trade. You mentioned global trade earlier. How extensive was that?
It was huge. This wasn't just local swapping. This was, you could almost say, globalization. Bronze Age edition.
Huh.
Okay.
They used standardized weights, little cubical ones, very precise system, and those distinctive seals, often with that unicorn motif.
To mark goods.
Yeah.
Like a brand.
Maybe? Or ownership, origin.
Yeah.
We're not totally sure. But they were clearly important for trade. And we found a massive dockyard at Luthal in Gujarat. Clear evidence of sea trade.
So where were they trading with?
We know for sure they traded with Mesopotamia, that's modern Iraq. Mesopotamian texts actually mention a place called Meluha.
And that's them? The Indus people?
Pretty much accepted now, yeah. They probably used intermediate ports like Dilmun, that's Bahrain, and Makan along the coast.
Wow. So what were they shipping out?
All sorts. Farm goods, cotton textiles, terracotta figurines, those amazing beads, shell, ivory, carnelian, lapis, copper, gold, timber.
Just picture it.
Yeah.
Caravans, riverboats.
And a tidy ledger stamped with a unicorn seal. It paints a picture of a really robust, organized economy connecting different worlds.
Okay, that image is fantastic. But it
Yeah.
brings back that question. Who was running the show if they were so organized?
Right. Who was in charge? Because unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia, you don't find the obvious signs, do you? No grand palaces, no huge royal tombs.
Exactly. No towering statues of kings. Even burials are mostly simple. Suggests maybe less extreme social hierarchy than we see elsewhere.
Well, less difference between rich and poor homes, maybe.
The evidence suggests modest variation, yeah. It's a different model.
And warfare. Were they big on conquest?
Very limited evidence for that.
Yeah.
Yes, cities had walls, fortifications, but they seem more for flood protection, maybe controlling trade access, or even keeping animals out, rather than massive military defense.
Interesting. So maybe not a big standing army culture?
Doesn't look like it. It points to maybe a unique structure. Less about one powerful ruler, maybe more about practical administration. Consensus.
Like a network of city councils or something.
Could be. Power seems practical, focused on water, storage, keeping those streets clean and orderly. Less crown, more city council, as you say.
Okay, so the cities themselves are like the statement of their power.
In a way, yes.
But then there's the big mystery, the elephant in the room, or maybe the unicorn on the seal. We can't read their writing.
The silent library is probably the biggest puzzle.
We can map their drains, but not their words.
Precisely. We have thousands of these short inscriptions on seals, pottery, little copper tablets. About 250 to 400 distinct signs, often written right to left. But, yeah, we can't crack it.
Why not? No Rosetta Stone.
Exactly that. No bilingual text to give us a key, like with Egyptian hieroglyphs. So they're laws, myths, math, economic records, mostly silent.
But are we learning anything about the script or the seals?
We are learning about the making of the seals through ethnoarchaeology, studying modern craftspeople using similar techniques.
How does that help?
Well, by replicating how they carved the steatite seals, researchers found that individual artisans had unique styles, like a fingerprint in how they carved the unicorn details.
Oh, that's cool. So even if we can't read the words, we see the individual hand.
Kind of, yeah. It gives tiny clues about craft organization. But yeah, every seal is still a cliffhanger, a tiny piece of a story we can't quite read.
So if the words are silent, what about their beliefs? What do the symbols tell us?
Their art gives us some strong hints, Lots of terracotta figurines that look like a mother
You're
goddess.
right, suggesting fertility worship.
Seems very likely. Some even show plants growing from an embryo, very connected to Earth, fertility. And then there's that famous figure, the Proto-Shiva.
The guy in the yoga pose with horns.
That's the one. Seated, surrounded by animals, elephant, tiger, rhino, buffalo, often seen as maybe an early form of the Hindu god Shiva.
And trees. Animals.
Definitely. Sacred trees appear a lot, especially the pipal tree. Sometimes figures worshiping before it. Animals are central too. And we find fire altars at some sites like Calibangan and Lothal. Suggests fire rituals were important.
So a rich spiritual life tied to nature.
Absolutely. Complex, clearly very meaningful to them.
Okay, so this thriving, complex civilization.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did it decline? It wasn't like Pompeii, right? No sudden catastrophe.
No, not really. It's better described, I think, as a long low tide.
A long, low tide. I like that.
After about 1900 BCE, things start to change. Cities get less populated, the super-organized systems start to fray, trade with Mesopotamia dries up.
It just faded.
A slow unraveling, yeah. Not an abrupt end.
So what caused it? The big question.
The evidence points pretty strongly towards environmental changes. Climate shifts,
Like drought.
increased aridity, yeah, and major river changes. The Gagar-Hakra River, which many think was the ancient Sarasvati, seems to have dried up or shifted course around then.
That would be huge.
Devastating. Plus, maybe floods in other areas. Deforestation from needing so much wood for brick making. It all adds up.
What about the old Aryan invasion theory?
Largely debunked by modern archaeology. There's just no solid evidence for a massive invasion or conquest destroying the cities.
So it was more internal factor, environmental pressures.
Seems much more likely. Followed by a gradual migration, people moving eastward towards the Ganges basin where conditions were maybe better, more cultural mixing than violent replacement.
Less a collapse, more that long, low tide.
Exactly.
But even though the big cities faded, did it all just disappear? Or did things carry on?
Oh, the legacy is profound.
Yeah.
It didn't just vanish.
No.
Many of their farming practices, their craft techniques, artistic motifs, even ways of laying out settlements, they persisted. They influenced later cultures in South Asia significantly.
So the habits remained.
Civilizations fade, habits persist. That civic blueprint you mentioned, the measured streets, the managed water, the standardized systems that set precedents,
Right.
and that incredible water wisdom, especially D'Oliveira, I mean, that feels incredibly relevant today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking about climate change and resource management.
Totally. It's like we're learning to read the city even when we can't read the script.
That's a great way to put it. And it leaves us with these huge, fascinating questions still ringing, you know?
Like what?
Like, who was coordinating things across that vast area, and how? Why? What did that script actually say about their laws, their myths, their math? And maybe the biggest one for us now, can that ancient water wisdom from D'Oliveira actually inspire solutions for our own climate challenges?
A silent library still standing in brick, with lessons we're still trying to decipher. In the Indus world, order flowed like water measured, shared, renewed. We hear it today in the hush of covered drains, the rhythm of brick, and the urge to build cities that care for their people.
Wow. What an incredible journey through a civilization that, yeah, despite its silence, just speaks volumes about human ingenuity, about resilience. This deep dive really shows how much more there is to discover, doesn't it? And how relevant the ancient past can be.
Absolutely. So much still to learn, so much to think about.
Thank you for being on this trip with us. Stay curious, stay grounded, and stay tuned for the next one.
Thank you.